The Spanish Fork Area Chamber of Commerce is pleased to present Chamber Today. I'm Aaron Stern. In this episode, we'll talk about our favorite topic, taxes. We'll visit with a CPA and talk about some of the most common concerns. We'll also visit with one of our award winners in the business community. Hi, I'm Aaron Stern, a local business owner and member of the Spanish Fork Area Chamber of Commerce. As we begin a new year, we're reminded that April's not far away, and we're not talking about Easter or spring break. Of course, we're talking about doing our taxes. With me, I have Jesse Carden, a past chair of the Chamber's Board of Directors and recently appointed to the City Council. Jesse, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me, Aaron.
We've also got Haley Hughes with Rick B. Ainge, CPA, LLC, and Employee Benefit Solutions.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us, Haley.
Oh, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
Well, Haley, tell us a little bit about yourself, like what you do, obviously, and then just anything you want people to know.
Yes, absolutely. I am a CPA. Our office is in Salem. I do mostly business taxes, but also individual as well.
Okay.
I've been with the firm for about 7 years. We have 2 of us in the office, me and my dad actually, that work together. And we love taxes.
That's
great.
awesome. So this season is probably your favorite season of the year.
Oh yeah, we get really excited about this season.
Yeah.
Long hours, all the fun stuff, right?
Yeah. We live at the office.
Well, let's talk some fun taxes stuff for our business owners and different things. And Aaron has a business, so we might have some questions here. But what so as businesses are filing taxes, what type of filing should they do?
And that really depends on the type of entity. One common misconception that people have is that if you are an LLC, there's actually not an entity type of LLC that has a tax return. If you are a single member LLC, you would actually file a Schedule C, which goes on your individual return, so there's not a separate business tax filing. Now, if it's a multiple member LLC, your default filing would be a partnership return.
Gotcha.
Both of those types of LLCs actually have the option to elect to be taxed as an S corporation, which is a different tax entity.
Gotcha.
Yep.
That's lots of fun stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And also there's different deadlines too.
Yes. Different deadlines too. For the business taxes, both the partnership returns and the S corporation returns, those are due on March 15th. If you are a C corporation, which is also a different tax entity, the deadline for that is April 15th, or really April 18th this year because of a weekend.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Do you do a lot of C corporations?
We don't do as many C corporations actually. They're not quite as common with the smaller businesses.
Right. Yeah. It's usually just an LLC or S corp, right?
Yes, you'll be right.
Yeah.
So you probably have a lot of businesses, or there's a lot of small businesses in town. Some try to do their taxes on their own. Then they come to you, right?
Yes.
What type of deductions do you see most commonly missed by those that are in that realm?
Yes. One big one that we see commonly missed is the self-employed health insurance deduction. That one is if you own your own business and you are not eligible for some kind of employer health plan, then you can take a deduction on your taxes for your health insurance costs.
Okay.
And that can be a big one.
Yeah, we use that and it helps.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Some other ones that we see commonly missed are travel expenses, business meals.
Yeah.
Sometimes people just aren't sure if those things can be deducted, and they can.
Yeah. I was just going to say one thing that we do, because we have multiple entities, is for us to keep track of it, because I do all the bookkeeping and accounting for it, is we have a separate credit card for each entity. And it's so nice. Everything goes on that card. So even if you're not keeping up on your bookkeeping, at the end of the year, at least you have all of your charges.
That makes sense.
So when you do travel, what business are you traveling on? Use that card.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. We highly recommend doing it exactly the way that you just said, because you don't miss things if you do it that way.
Yeah.
So when we talk about travel expenses, what travel expenses are deductible? Because you hear different things about mileage or hotel stays or those different things. What is deductible?
Yes, so your hotel stays would be if you are driving your vehicle expenses, would be deductible. If you're traveling by air, your airfare would be deductible. Meals while you're traveling are deductible.
Gotcha.
If you have parking that you have to pay for, or if you need to take like a ride share, something like that, those deductions or those expenses are also deductible.
Gotcha. And you just need, so like, I'm a small business, I am one person, right? Do I just need to keep track of that on like a ledger, receipts? Like what would be the best way for them to bring that to you, as a CPA?
Oh yeah, that is a great question. So we recommend doing it the way that works best for you.
Okay.
We can come up with great options, but if it doesn't work well for you, you won't do it.
I'll tell you the way we do it, and this is the easiest way, especially with the size of our businesses, is we use QuickBooks Online for some of our entities. Other ones we'll just use the desktop version. But with QuickBooks Online, and even the desktop version, it syncs directly into your bank account and your credit card. So you can actually every day take 10 minutes to go in and categorize.
Oh, that's nice.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah. We love QuickBooks Online.
Yes.
That works really
it's
well.
awesome, yeah.
There's that endorsement for
Yes, QuickBooks Online, yeah.
Yes, but you can also do things on a spreadsheet if you want to manually track things on a spreadsheet. Some people like to keep their paper receipts, and if that is what works for you, then that's great too.
Yeah. What about planning for the new year? I know like with us, we always get together with us CPA at the beginning of each year, or even the end of the prior year, just to kind of talk about maybe expenditures coming up, or at what point do you always recommend your clients reach out to you? Because I know this is a busy time of year.
Yes.
So don't call your CPA on the 1st of April and say, okay, I'll have it to you in a week. It should have been last month.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we do definitely recommend getting your tax stuff in as early as possible in this season. But we do like to meet maybe at least 2 times a year.
Okay.
One during the filing season so that we can get everything ready to be filed. But then also we like to have another meeting sometime toward the end of the year because you can see a little bit better at that point where things have gone this year.
Yeah.
But if you're meeting before the end of the year, you could maybe,
There's still time.
Yes, there's still time to make
Yeah.
some changes and even to plan into the next year. So we always recommend coming in and sitting down towards the end of the year and seeing what we can plan for.
Great.
That makes sense. Do you do, so as being just you and your dad doing this, right, do you do mainly businesses? Do you do for families, do you do their taxes as well? Or what does that makeup look like?
Yeah, we do both. As far as the number of returns filed, I would say we do a lot more individual.
Okay.
As far as the time spent, we spend a lot more time on the businesses.
Yeah.
Right. And then to Erin's question, so is it so obviously from now until whenever people actually send in their taxes,
Yes.
When is the best time to contact you if they're like, hey, I'm looking for a new CPA, I want to explore CPAs? When is that best time for someone to do that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We love to meet with people before the end of the year to look at filing for them for next year, but early in the tax filing season is great too. We
So
like
right
to
now
sit
is
down.
good.
Yes, right now is a perfect time.
It's not too busy yet.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Cool.
What about Section 179? Are there benefits and limits for that?
Yes, there are limits to 179 as far as how much you can take. Now, the limits are pretty high.
Okay.
But there are limits definitely on your business vehicles.
Okay.
If you are in a gross vehicle rating between 6,000 and 14,000 pounds, then you probably won't have a limit. But if you're outside of those, your 179 may be limited.
Right.
So what she's saying is you can buy a G-Wagon and run it off.
Are there other things to the depreciation that people should know about?
Yeah, so in addition to 179, there's also bonus depreciation. Bonus depreciation has changed percentages throughout the years, but right now it is 100%.
Oh.
And so if you go out and you buy an asset that is eligible for bonus, you can deduct 100% of that cost in the year you purchase it.
I know what Erin's doing today.
Oh yeah. I need something fun.
So as we approach, tax filing season, what are some things that people can do to prepare themselves right now, right? Let's say they're not working with you today. What should they be doing to prepare themselves for that tax filing?
They definitely can be looking at organizing all of their information, making sure all the bookkeeping is up to date, jotting down questions. We love that if people come in with their questions ready for us, and then as we're preparing the returns, we can be looking at answering those too at the same time.
Awesome.
What's the best way to get a hold of you?
You can call our office. Our office number is 801-798-3539. You can also send us an email.
Okay.
You can send that directly to me, to our office.
What's your email address?
My email address is haley@angecpa.com.
Okay, great. We'll throw it up on the screen too.
Okay, yeah, that will be perfect.
That way you don't have to spell it out, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. Well, really appreciate you being a part of our conversation today, and I'm sure you're going to get a lot more questions from people.
Oh yeah, that will be great, and I really appreciate being here.
Great, thanks. Coming up next, we'll talk to the recipient of the Business Professional Award. Stay with us. Welcome back to Chamber Today. January also brings us our new Chamber Leadership installment and our chance to recognize the people and businesses that have made an impact in our area and our Chamber community. One of the awards we present is the Business Professional of the Year. This award honors those that have demonstrated a high level of leadership and drive to serve our residents and impact the quality of life in our area. And the recipient of this award this year is Stacy Beck, the sales manager at the Utah Valley Magazine, a Spanish Fork City Council member and longtime Chamber member and supporter. Hi, Stacy.
Hi, guys.
Congratulations, Stacy.
Thank you. I was shocked, truly.
Really?
Yeah, I went on to vote. I was on my computer. I'm like, I love voting for this every year. And I'm going down voting, and I see the top 3, and I scroll down, and I work from home, and my husband's sitting next to me. I'm like, Hon, I'm on the list. He's like,
awesome.
What list? And I told him, and I take a picture of the screen and text it to my kids. Because sometimes you need to kind of tell your kids that you're kind of cool, that you do carry some legitimacy in the world.
Did they think it was a cool thing? Or
They
was
were
it a mom
super
thing?
cool. No, they were great.
Okay.
Was the first question, well, why are you on there?
One of them, of course, did.
And what did you say?
I'm just, it was short. He's like, why? And then he's just kidding. You deserve it.
That's great.
So it was just like an honor to be nominated.
Yeah. And then now finding out
And then,
you won,
when
right?
you guys told me, I just, like it just to sink in. And it's like such an honor.
Right.
Because I love Spanish Fork. I'm passionate about the community.
Well, you've been involved with so many different aspects of the community for so
Yeah.
long. It was long overdue, I'm sure.
Like
Well,
being at this table is different, right? Or in
Right.
this aspect is
You're on the
Yeah.
other side this time?
Let's talk about what you do here, on a every 2-week basis.
Every 2 weeks.
What
Yeah,
is-
I kind of have to shift. Like I have different hats. That's kind of how I look at my life.
Yeah.
Is I have a city council hat, studio chatter hat, a Utah Valley Magazine hat. And sometimes, so if Aaron, I associate you, for example, with the chamber. If you go off and throw something at me with the magazine, I kind of have to be prepared to shift.
Oh, okay.
Or if someone says, hey, let's go to lunch
Yeah.
and talk about this and this, I'm like, okay, so what hat am I wearing?
Right.
And I asked someone that once, like, what hat should I be wearing? And they said, wear both. Okay, as long as I know going in,
Yeah.
have both mind frames. Because if I am associating someone with something and then they ask something else, I'm like,
Can
it
really
just
throw
takes
you
a minute
off.
to shift.
Yeah.
So let's talk, like Aaron mentioned that you've done a lot of things in the community. Let's talk specifically about the chamber. You've done a lot of things in the chamber. Talk about that, how you got involved
Okay.
with the chamber, and then also some of those roles that you've held
Okay.
within the chamber.
I love the chamber. I'm passionate about it. And I'm super honest of why I got started. It was pure selfish reasons.
Gotcha.
Can I say that?
Yeah, you can.
So I'm in
I
sales.
think a lot of people do.
Yeah, I'm in
Yeah.
sales. So what motivates salespeople? Money, right?
Right.
So I get hired at the magazine, and then I'm thinking, we're going to do the Fiesta Days magazines. Like, I need to build relationships down in Spanish Fork. I'll start going to ribbon cuttings and try and meet some people. And I had lived here, so I knew some people, but it's totally different. Like, when you're in the chamber, you really build relationships. So I started going to Business of the Months and chamber meetings.
Right.
And of course, right then they're like, hey, do you want to be on our board?
Yeah, of course.
I'm like, well, what does that mean? And they're
Yeah.
like,
Hey,
just
you're
a
coming,
meeting.
let's go, right?
It really was like just a meeting, just one extra meeting, and it's
Yeah.
at 7 a.m. That was the kicker. I'm like, and I'm a morning person, but I thought, one meeting a month at 7? And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And that was it. I was on the board for several years back when Mike Mendenhall was president, and Brad Tanner, Carrie Robarge, Carrie Hanks, like it was just a super fun group. And people then that had been on the chamber, like Brenda Lydiard at Circle B Me and Susan Taylor with Susan Hairstyles, just people that had really been there for a while. And then in 2015, I served as president. And then that just led to people saying, hey, have you ever thought about running for city council? And a couple nudges in that direction back then. And I was hesitant. I thought, well, that's kind of silly if I'm chamber president the same year to run for city council. That seems like overachiever, and I don't want to have that title. But then I remember at the time it was Representative Mike McKell said, but you're already like in the groove. If you wait, you might not have the name recognition, so do it now. So I ran for city council.
Gives you different opportunities to serve the community, the business community, and everything else.
Yeah. So I think I was super involved back then, and now I don't want to say I've taken a step back, but I've been more involved in city. So I think this is why this recognition means a lot right now, is because I'm still being recognized for the things that I'm doing and love doing.
And so as you've done some of these different things, what are some ways that you've been able to help the business community, right? You've been able to do different things and helping them. But what are some of those things? And maybe some examples.
I think on both hats that I wear, from either at Utah Valley Magazine or through Studio Chatter, I feel like all I'm doing is trying to help businesses be successful, and that's my true intent. Through the magazine, I get paid, right? Because, I'll buy an ad. So then that's where I was like, I want people to buy ads. But also, I want them to be successful with their business. And I think it's successful to be in the Fiesta Days magazine, where the whole entire city, Spanish Fork and Salem, see your ad. Or come onto Studio Chatter and you just get a chat and get recognized. And then that's promoted on YouTube, Instagram, on SF17. So if I can help your business like just be elevated and be seen by more people to help you be more successful, that's my goal.
And I think the one thing that's fun about Studio Chatter is there's 3 of you on there interviewing, and so it's different perspectives, but then you also highlight what these businesses are doing, what they can bring to the community, and also how the community can help them. Like you've had, I don't know if Aaron, if you've ever been on there. Like I
haven't, but I think my wife and some of her employees
We have My Sister's Closet in once or twice a year. They're one of our favorites.
And then like Tabitha's Ways on there, or the new bookstore. I think the newest episode had the new mobile IV place coming on. I don't remember their name, so forgive me, but like I think that all these different variety of businesses, they get an opportunity to, hey, let's spotlight our business, let's talk about it, and you guys get to learn about those too. So
like we usually don't even have a list of questions. We just are truly so intrigued with everyone's business. And then it's also difficult, I will say, because we don't want it to be all businesses. We don't want it to be a chamber show. We want it to just be stories too. So we try to find that balance of, business, but we want your story, or we want someone's story and not a business. So it's been fun.
It's interesting just to see the dynamic of each episode or each different thing that you do with the Studio Chatter, because they are so different, right? Those interviews are so different.
Yeah, they really are. And you can feel different energy levels from different people of what they bring to the table as well. So it's been fun.
Having being involved in the local business community, obviously the last several years we've had some real ups and downs. You know, with your thumb on the pulse, how is it doing right now?
Boy. From my perspective, I feel like it's like being elevated tremendously right now. For example, yesterday was New Networking. Kathleen can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was the biggest one ever.
Really?
Yeah, it was packed. They originally were going to have it at a different location. They moved it somewhere else to hold more. Several people didn't RSVP. I get kind of chatty, so finally I get through the food line, and there were only a couple of slices of pizza left. Like, it was a full house, and I saw you, Jesse, there. Like it was good. It felt good.
I think that we had 15 more people than we thought were going to be there, and that was less than what we told the sponsor. So it's the networking in our community is amazing. And again, like you said, it's been elevated.
Yeah. And we're super excited. At the magazine, we were able to get the Chamber of Commerce annual magazine bid, so I'm working on that now. And I feel like that's going to be an elevated publication where our goal with the Chamber is so people keep that magazine when it arrives late March. Throughout the year, it's going to have a pull-out map of Spanish Fork City on one side, a list of all the dates and events from the city and Nebo School District for people to keep. So I think the chamber's like, what can we do to elevate and make your membership as a chamber member valuable? But then for me, I look back and hands down for me, it's my relationships. You can't just like pay your membership due and then be like, I'm going to be successful. It's all about what you give back. And I remember Carrie Robart long ago saying, it's all about what you do to give back to the chamber. That's what you're going to get out of it.
Yeah. That discussion, I mean, we have that discussion all the time in the chamber. How do we get people to join? Because people, when they originally want to join, it's like, what's in it for me, like you said.
Yeah.
But you know, if you're really passionate about it and the business community and the city, you get pulled into it, and then it becomes, what are you doing, giving back?
Yeah.
And it elevates your membership so much more.
Oh,
And you get so
truly.
much back from it, right? Like more than you put in. Like I think our lowest membership fee is like $150 or in that realm.
Yes.
And if you give that $150 and you actually go to the events and you talk, you're gonna get way more than $150 in benefits for what you do.
And I'm all about relationships, whether it's like city council, chamber. It's you create good, deep, long-lasting relationships. Like some of my dearest friends for the last decade plus have been through the chamber.
Yeah.
So that's a good feeling.
So as you think about this award and kind of your time period through this experience, right? What advice would you give somebody who's maybe even they haven't joined the chamber or they're even just starting their business career? What advice would you give them?
Oh, I would say a couple things. Be involved, join the chamber, but then don't just pay your fee, go.
Yeah.
And I think anytime I do anything new, you can feel all alone in a crowded room. You could go to that chamber event this week, Jesse, right? And be like, why am I here? There's, 50 other people here. I don't know any. But don't stop. Just keep going because you're going to sit next to someone and start building those relationships. I had a good 15-minute conversation with someone yesterday that had never been.
Right.
And we created that relationship and got to know each other. And so I think it's just continuing to do it. And be brave. Be brave and courageous and go out of your comfort zone. It's not always comfortable to just go meet new people.
Yeah.
Right.
So just kind of go outside your comfort zone and do it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well,
So-
that's a great way to end. And hey, congratulations again on the
Thank
award.
you.
It's so awesome to have you
Congratulations.
have that.
Thank you.
Yeah, great. We'll be right back with more Chamber Today. As we conclude this episode of Chamber Today, we would like to thank the leadership of the Chamber of Commerce, Spanish Fork City, and Spanish Fork 17 for their support. We look forward to being with you again on a new edition of Chamber Today. Thanks for watching and supporting our local businesses. Remember to shop local.